25 or 27 years. So with that said, I guess, we would like to see the district have this building. This is only our thoughts, we totally understand that we're going to be going to the voters of Holland. But we don't see it happening without a fairly large sum of money and really to go towards our next building that we have to have. It doesn't make sense to us to try to present this to our public, our voting public, that we vacate this building with no dollars in their pocket. And then they have to go out and do a bond or, whatever however they choose to finance a new building. So, help us with that. Help us work through this. We promoted this as a joint effort and let's keep it that way. And so those are the two things that we can agree on. We didn't have a long meeting, but those things came to the top fairly quick. And keep in mind that, we're working in the best interest of the voters of the town of Holland, of all the residents. So we have to stay that way. So we may end up agreeing to disagree. I don't know where we're going to be, but somehow we have to arrive at either a lump sum at the end of it, or adding to your payments for us to set aside in a dedicated account for the purpose of building a new building, or some way like that.
Anybody have any questions or comments? John?
Do you, as a board, have any idea what that number might be now, or is that something we're working on?
Well, I mean, as you all know, it's very hard to predict 27, 25 years from now what we're even going to need. I like the option, and I've said this right from the beginning, of the town having a chance to reset. Okay, throw a number out there, add $10,000 to the monthly payment. You end up with $3.5 million, $3.75 million at the end of it. Just something like that is what we're thinking. It's going to be a hard sell to move out of this building that the taxpayers, voted to pay for on the back of just the Holland taxpayers. This has been a very good setup here to have you guys do, everything that's happened has been good. Right from the little tiny, terrible garage over here that they were housed in to this wonderful building. So I mean, the evolution has been phenomenal. The people voted to fund this from their taxes because of that guy right there and his staff, Josh McNally. So, there's been a lot of movement on the town of Holland's part. This is another good move, I think. It gives the town a chance to rethink what they're doing. If this building fits your needs, it's a great fit for you guys, but we can't just move out of it. I don't see that passing. And think about that. Walk me through how that would be something good that we could present as a good idea for the voters. But that's what we're struggling with. We're trying, honestly. And I know it seems like we're driving slow. But we're trying to get there for you.
Anybody else have a question? I've got a couple. First question, the proposal we gave you, the number you're talking, the big number at the end or whatever that number is that on top of the 288 or on top of the 217?
Well, it would have to be on top of the 288.
Okay.
I think, and I'm only speaking for myself.
No, I mean, I'm asking you because you're talking.
I'll give you my opinion.
No, I understand. You got something, Josh?
No, I mean, other than I'm glad that you came.
Yeah.
Whether it's a yes or no or whatever. I think that the dialogue needs to continue unless it's a hard no. And I certainly can appreciate that if you don't have something good to bring to the public, you're voting public. Why the hell would they vote for it? You know what I mean? So they would have to be educated on why this would be a good thing or that it's not. And that hasn't happened yet. It was about the library and then some survey, which wasn't helpful. But anyway, I think that that we need to, we don't know a price, we kind of need to know a price.
Mhm.
And I think that we need to research if in fact there was a price, if it's a good deal for us.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not. Maybe a better deal is us to build a station. You know, you won't know until we research that and find out what would it cost to build it. We don't know. So if they came back at 10 million, well, can we build a station less than that? We have no idea because we haven't done any research. I mean, it makes sense for us to stay here, but if it's all established, but maybe that isn't the best thing financially.
Yeah, second question, it sounds like, so it would be 288 for 27 years and then some money. Is what you're kind of
I don't
talking.
know if it's 288. I'm not
Okay.
verifying again, I'm guaranteeing
Yeah.
any of those numbers.
No, I understand.
As costs increase, that would stand to reason that would increase.
And then the second one would be, it sounds like the intent would be for you to stay, you being the town, stay in this building for the entirety of that 27 years to the end of the bond.
Well,
But,
Yeah,
I mean,
when-
I'm only
let's-
repeating what I think I heard, that's all.
yeah. So the way that would change is I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen, you know, I don't, I truly, I'm not being flip on it. or
No,
anything.
no,
I'm
no, I get it.
I'm
I just wanted to make sure that that's what I heard.
You know, something could happen that it makes sense to make this happen quicker, you know, something for you guys or something for us, you know, I don't know.
Okay.
I truly don't. But you know, I can guarantee you that's gonna cost money. That's one thing, that's the only thing I can guarantee is it's gonna take money.
Go ahead, Joe.
I don't know how much,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I want to say this, and it's not to offend anybody here.
Mhm.
We're all in this together. Say that. And it's something like Glenn hit on, and I want to continue to talk about a little bit. What was on fire when Josh was out of it? So over. I know, you guys, state committee people in this room. And that also affected everybody in this room, whether we believe it or not, because some of us had little volunteer fire departments, but still Holland Fire Department was very important, and some of us had contracts with Holland Fire Department when Josh took over. To see what's been done from that time, like you said, from that point over here, and the firefighters and the EMS that are there, that's what they are today and what they're going to be in the future. It's almost
It's uncomparable.
it's, you know,
Yeah.
you can't even predict that.
No.
In my opinion. So I really want to tell everybody, you know, we really need to work together on this and keep this going. Alan, Ralph, and all of us need to really work together to focus on this. But this is where we need to be, and I think this is the best choice. That somehow or another, we need to come to terms with that. And be honest with each other, do what's best for the district. You do what's best for the town of Holland, we need to do what's best.
I was gonna say, those are competing,
No, because because the district includes the town of Holland.
yeah, it does.
Like,
That's what I was gonna say. I
like
mean, the
it's
town of
not-
Holland is part of the district, but it's not it's one part of 9. And the other,
And I see a little bit on what's going on at the road officer. Well, they're really having trouble. They really
Yeah.
have, for one or two individuals, you know, in my opinion. And that affects all those little towns around us. They never will have the quality of service that this area is getting.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And just understand that the $10,000 is just my number.
no, I get it.
I'm plugging a number in
No, I
to
understand.
get to a number at the end.
So I guess
So there's
my,
like 364 months left, or something like that.
so then I guess the next question I would have is, what do you see as the next step for you?
Well, I think we need to continue our dialogue as a board. You know, I guess what I can take back from this meeting and guys jump in if I'm saying anything out of turn, that's for sure, but is that, you know, you would be receptive to a number for the end, you know. I would even say that possibly how you get to it is up to you. If it's a lump sum or if it's a monthly thing or you know, however you choose to do that would be you. But also remember that, what is our percentage? Yeah, 24%? down or?
Yeah, we're at 15% and Infield's 26.
Yeah, so, 15% of whatever you do is coming from us and going back to us. So, I mean, it's our
Yeah.
money that, so.
So,
And it's, maybe it's not as complicated as it is in my head. It might be just my old age.
no, I think it's
But I'm
complicated.
I'm struggling to
Yeah.
get this and I want to get it right. I don't want to be unfair to the district because we are part of the district. I don't want to be unfair to the taxpayers because they won't vote for it. I mean, they're not dumb. They're going to recognize that the BCD.
Why would they vote?
So, we to be serious about this need to get to a reasonable deal to present to them. And then, I don't know, we talk as maybe both boards getting together and doing some informational stuff. If we can get to a point where we think it's worth, pursuing to the voters.
Yep.
So, and I still want to continue that theme. I like it. I mean, that's, right now we're kind of separated, but when this thing is all over with, we're going to be as one unit.
Yeah.
To sell this.
I guess before I say thank you, if you stayed at the 288 number for the term of the lease, and I'm just saying are you going to, is the money going to be put aside to do the upkeep of this building for the next 30 years? Because if we signed a lease for 30 years that had a provision that we give money at the end or we pay money along the way, along with that 288, and the building isn't upkept to standards, that would be to your benefit and our detriment.
So should we be looking at a component of that puts the maintenance of the building onto you?
Well, that's
So-
what the
so then
original,
you're-
the original proposal said 217, and we do this, and we pay for everything in the building and pay for all the maintenance. That's why that proposal came that way.
Well, there's more things to talk about, and like I say, I'm sorry if it seems like we're moving slow. but we're
No, that's
trying to
fine.
be,
But I think-
cautious and methodical.
Yeah, and I think that for due diligence for all parties, I think Josh is right. We need to look at and I'll say a worst case scenario because of money, the money being like up here somewhere, what that would look like compared to us spending what it would cost us to build the station that would fit our needs not only today, but for the next 30 years or 20 years. Because one of the questions I asked Josh is, in 15 years, is this building big enough for us? And if the answer isn't yes, then that puts a kind of a kink in the hose, if you would.
So that requires, to me, it requires speculation
Sure.
as to what's going to happen. Is the population of 4 or 5 of the towns in the district or all the, is it going to go up so that the needs are greater? And if so, I mean, Josh has told me that flood space is an issue
Yeah.
right now. So I mean, we're aware
Yeah.
that it's possible this building won't fit your needs 30 years from now.
Yeah.
Just like I say, we don't know what our position is. Are we going to be providing any services for any smaller towns around? I mean, what do we need?
Sure.
What's our library going to look like? Is it going to be this huge media center that, people, I don't know any of that.
Well, does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Elizabeth.
Yes,
I'm
my
sorry.
arm's getting so tired and I'm missing half the notes because I've only got one-handed type.
Oh, you did?
Put your glasses on, Bob.
No, it's not my glasses. She says I look to the right.
Stop being a
My
menace.
only or comment to all of this is I think we need to make sure that we keep this regular back and forth dialogue going. Because if it's just us talking and you talking, or us talking and Helen talking and just periodically checking in, we're probably not going to make very much headway in any sort of time. That was one thing. And the second one was if we don't take the risk and speculate and try to make some of these hard decisions now, we are going to be 25 years down the road and Alland is going to have potentially $0 in their pocket for a new building. And we're also going to be out of building because the lifespan of this building is what it is. And at this point, what we're covering, what you're covering will get us to that point, but we all need to look beyond that point for both parties, because right now as is just kind of gets us there. It doesn't get us beyond there, and it doesn't make sure that it's working in between. So
Okay,
that's all.
appreciate it.
One thing.
Go for it,
I know
John.
this as well, but.
Yep.
This is my opinion. I think being here is the best for both us and our, again, this is my opinion, the best service for many, many miles. For us to go out and build another building, we can do that. It's going to cost a lot of money. All that money is going to come back on to the district members, Howland included. And for Howland to deal with that, deal with this building being going to have to be, in my opinion, severely changed over to make anything that would be sellable with a different entity. I think we can all work together, come up with an agreement with good terms for this building, for everybody involved.
Well, we clearly recognize the value of having a service right here in the center of our town. I mean, it's absolutely, it doesn't get any better than that. If it was a terrible service, then we'd be like, well, that's one thing, but it's top shelf service. And so, I mean, we recognize that, but yeah, we still need to take the correct deal and information to our voters so that they will recognize what's in how the best interest is. And that's what we're trying to do, but I don't know why it's so complicated, but it's a big deal.
No, there's a lot of moving parts. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. Well, if that's, I thank you for coming. You're welcome to stay. We're gonna head on to that regular scheduled meeting now.
Well, hold on before,
Yep. Oh,
Yeah, Priscilla is our new alternate. Yeah, I just
Welcome,
want to
Priscilla.
And-
I apologize for running late. Work just got crazy.
yeah, okay.
can I say something?
Yeah.
So in my mind, I always oversimplify things, and I know it's, to me, it's coming down to the money. And I'm a Howland resident and I'm a Howland taxpayer, so, I appreciate both sides of, I want the best service, but I also know it can cost us, but I also don't want this to leave without us getting something for it. David sent us the numbers, which will be pretty close to making Howland whole. I think it'll be pretty close. I'm sure you didn't get all the numbers. I will appreciate that. And that number was like 470, 473, something like that. I think to Glenn's point, we need to figure out what a number is going to be so Howland can do something. And this is my opinion. I think sooner rather than later for a myriad of reasons. One is we don't know the future. We don't know how it's going to grow. We don't know if we're going to shrink even. I mean, we don't know that stuff. But I think by getting it into the district's ownership, if you will, because of the way the bond is worded, it's going to be a long-term lease with whatever we decide to do at the end. But to me, getting it into the district's ownership solidifies every town having to pay for their share of this building, this going forward. And to me, that's important to me as a Howland resident, knowing what it means to the service. Because if anything goes sideways and someone backs out, then, having all this agreed on really makes it even harder for someone to get out. Because now if we say in a year from now, someone says, a town says, I really want to get out. Okay, if we've got something ironed out with this thing and it's locked in place, well, you can get out, but you're still going to be on the hook for helping us pay for this building. And this building is the kind of the lifeblood of this department. If we didn't have the building, maybe it's not the employees are really the lifeblood, but you know where I'm getting. I mean, we have to have the building.
Yeah, we have to have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Right? So,
And to me,
so
and to me, building another station outside of town is going to be, even if we try to, and that will be speculation, we would have to speculate how big it would possibly be. We know what this building is its sizes, and I think we can definitely grow into it if we have the whole thing. But I absolutely appreciate what the Howland board is telling us. I mean, we have to help them do something, and whatever we do to help that, whatever that number is going to be, I'm sure we can all sit here and go, it's going to be less than whatever we're going to build. I just can't see it unless the bottom falls out of the market in the next 6 months and everything goes to hell and, but hopefully that's, yeah.
Currently, this is the best situation for everybody concerned.
Yeah.
It's expensive, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
That service is expensive.
Yeah.
We all wish it was less money.
Oh, yeah.
We could figure out a way to keep having this high level of service for a less price, but what's going down these days besides, people's income, I guess.
But to me, if we can lock something in where we can come to an agreement where this board can get an agreement with the Howland board on, we know what we need to make you whole, which is a big amount of money to help get you into something else or help us. I'm speaking as a Howland resident now, but I know we need something else. And Howland residents will have to come up with a little bit. It's not going to be a lot, but I think what we'll have to do is we're going to have to explain to the Howland residents, by doing this, we're taking a huge burden off of their backs because they're not going to be responsible for this building on their own anymore. If that's the way we go, if things go sideways and everything goes to hell in a handbasket and this department just crashes and burns, our residents are on the hook for this building regardless of where the department goes. But if we set up lease, if we get something in place, no matter what happens to the department, the other towns that are members of this are going to help us pay for this going forward, which would behoove us to keep a department in it. So that's just my 2 cents. And I know nobody likes hearing getting put on the hook for something but in my mind, that's where I'm trying to drive this thing because
It's very true.
but
And that, is a huge reduction of risk for the town of Howland, just in that they're not the ones stuck holding the bag if everything goes sideways all by themselves.
I don't think it's off the wall to say it like that, Jeff, because this was such a big undertaking. I remember the couple of years worth of conversations of people use the word, putting people on the hook. And it was because of the risk of all of us that we were all willing to take because this was such a big undertaking. And the charter was written that way for a reason.
Yep.
So people wouldn't get waspy and try to price shop, and maybe they could go with Lincoln for $2 cheaper and that sort of thing. We were kind of all in this together. So it's a true statement.
Yeah. I really do think there's a number that we can get to that the Howland board will even be able to say, okay, I can see that. And we can sell, I will be a part of that team helping to sell to all of the Howland residents. Howland residents, by doing this and pushing the risk of this building off onto the rest of the residents of our community, we can say, okay, we might need to take a small loan just to finish whatever we need because we're already on the hook for this building, whether we like it or not. If we can do something that we can kind of say, we're on the hook, but the other towns are on the hook with us because we have this lease or whatever the case, whatever the lawyers get us to get to that point.
Otherwise, who's paying for it?
Well, I'm assuming we'll probably have to, we'll definitely have to pay our share of Redmond and Winchell because that's who our lawyers are. And I'm sure whatever we come to, I'm sure Howland will want to review it too. So
So, Bob, I guess to answer your question, I'm thinking going forward, probably Howland needs another workshop, which are open to the public. But I think we had a really good atmosphere. We had a good conversation. It may not sound like we got a lot done, but we did pretty well. So I think maybe another workshop for us, and then maybe we'll see how the board feels. But maybe at that time we sit down again as two groups and discuss where we are and see what you guys have come up with, and let's build this thing together. I don't want to make it who can come up with the best deal. I'd like to have it built together, and then we all believe in it. We all promote it the same way, and it makes sense that way. I don't want a huge. Sure, I'd love to be a big winner. Okay, give us $10 million, we'll go build a new building. But that's not bargaining in good faith, and that's what I want to do.
Okay,
So,
well,
Yeah, I just want to encourage everybody to be a part of this because many of us are town officials, not only directors, but we're town officials. We have to take this back to our town too. You know, our town is part of this. We have to sell this to them as well. Make them understand this is the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think that's an important overall charge to everyone to make sure that your towns, that the town you represent hears from you. Like, I'm fortunate. I'm on every select board meeting as an update from, you know, the district. Sometimes it's in between meetings, so there's nothing, but sometimes it's a, you know, a fairly lengthy educational process. So I think that's important. And then it's something this important. I think the towns need to understand what we're looking to do and what it might cost. All right. well,
That's a great concept that we would like all towns to have directors to follow, come in and update us and keep us apprised of what you guys are.
Well, I do Enfield. I'm not doing
I know you
anybody
do,
else.
right,
Okay,
Um,
last one.
I still think that whatever that number is, I think in order for us to believe in it and to sell it, we need to look at what it would cost to build a station.
I don't disagree at all.
Because otherwise,
Mhm.
we're just shooting from the hip and saying, well, it's convenient because we're here.
Yep. No,
Well,
Mhm.
I mean,
I think our from our board's perspective and from the perspective of the other towns other than Howland, that we need to do due diligence and say, what would it cost to build a building of X size that he would put together? Don't do the engineering, obviously, but get a ballpark figure. I've seen some figures of anywhere from $400 to $1,000 a square foot. So we will approach some major contractors and ask that kind of question. What would it cost to build a X amount of square foot footprint for a fire station? Just so that, because it would be irresponsible of me as the director from Howland, from Enfield, to say, this is a good idea, let's do this, without knowing, you know, what would the alternative be? I mean, the alternative might be less expensive, it might be more advantageous, it might be terrible. But if we don't know that, I think it's irresponsible of this board to do anything without knowing that.
So if you get that number, if you're willing to share that with us, we'd be
Oh, yeah.
very
That's
interested.
public. I mean, here's I
We can be
was gonna say,
I would say it would probably be best the whole way around, even if the town of Howland was willing to do something similar for what it would cost them to build another small town office somewhere
Yeah.
in a similar
We
situation,
want
so that we
that.
can actually have that conversation, talking apples to apples and not apples to oranges.
no, I think it's important that, excuse me, that this board understands and looks to see what that number would be compared to what, and I guess I'm just gonna ask you to come back with us with what in the ballpark. I mean, like, if we're starting at the 288 that we are now, adding something to it, what that ballpark is. I mean, maybe it's like Fenway Park, or maybe it's like Sea Dogs Park. I don't know. But whatever
So
that number,
That's good stuff for us to work on at our
Yeah.
network.
because that way, if we get something in the next few months that says this is what it would be, and you give us a number, or you don't give us a number, then it's hard to compare again.
Right.
So with that, I'd say, anybody else?
We'll try to make it a little bit.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, we're gonna go into our regular agenda
Yeah,
now.
one more thing, since the only thing I want to say is when we're having these discussions, the 217, the 288, I think those numbers don't really mean a lot.
They mean
Because,
an awful lot to us every month.
well, I mean, they don't mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. The 288 number, if we stay in a lease, that 288 number, well, it will go up. There's no way around it, because utilities, the commodities will definitely go up, and we will have to pay our proportionate share of that. Or we will have to pay we'll have to pay for that.
it's written at least that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, some of the
Yeah.
clauses are gonna.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking for a number that will be completely set aside, earmarked for the purpose of a new building. So that's where we're at. And how we divvy up the money that comes in from you is kind of.
That's not ours, that's yours. Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, we've kind of said that. So I think it's good for this board to definitely care about what they're going to do. And I think it's good for them they definitely care about what we're going to do because they want they, including me, the town residents want the fire department to stay here. So, but-
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's start off with old business. You have a fundraising update? Oh, I'm sorry, back
Can we
up.
actually go back and accept the minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That would be okay. That will
I'll accept
that will help
I
my
would
current
accept the
minutes.
motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting. All in favor? We got that. You coming
Thank you.
back? You all right?
Yep, good.
All right.
we need to do officers.
Huh?
We need to do officers.
No, we're gonna do that at the end.
We kind of need to do that before we run the meeting.
Why?
Because it's
It's supposed to be-
the new year.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So I'll entertain a motion for
We need nominations.
nominations
For president.
For president first. Anybody third it?
Any other
Any discussion?
nominations?
Any other nominations? No, you can do it. So, all in favor? Opposed?
You don't count.
How about for vice president? I need a nomination for vice president.
Thank you, Eric.
Second. Any other nominations? Want to be vice president?
Accurate voice.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, secretary.
I nominate Elizabeth Pilkey.
Amen.
Ooh.
Second. Third, anybody else want to make a nomination? All in favor? Okay, now we come to the tough one, treasurer.
A
Oh, we're missing
question.
Chris.
Yes,
I have a question on our treasurer. So, because Jeff's currently as VP, actually, Jeff
yes,
as VP, actually, his presentations, he presents the financials each time, which typically on most boards is done by the treasurer.
yes.
So I'm just wondering, like, in this board, like, what is our, it's not really spelled out super clearly.
It
in
isn't,
our-
it isn't spelled that way. And the
bylaws.
treasurer, it started out with the treasurer doing things that were difficult to get done. So like all the signing, I signed all the checks. I'm on the bank account for that. I can sign a loan with one other officer, and that would typically be Jeff. Financials, either one of us can pull the financials and bring, like I've been sending them out to you ahead of time.
Well, you're on the bank account, those two,
And,
and the treasurer's on the bank account, right?
yeah, but we don't, right now, do we know, does anybody know if Chris is gonna stay on as Edinburgh?
He told me that he has interest in staying,
But he's not sure if
but
they'll
he's
let
not
him.
sure if they're gonna let him. And I thought that the last thing that he said was they were okay with it. But don't go.
He was saying we were okay because they didn't have
They
any
didn't have
other
anybody.
options otherwise if he
Yeah.
didn't. at
Well,
this
I
time.
would be remiss to nominate him for treasurer without him being here
Right.
and knowing if he's gonna be on, because then we'd have to do it again. Which would not be a good thing.
Till next year,
Huh?
hold till the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we table treasurer till the,
I don't think so, not by the bylaws. We have to elect all four officers.
I'll nominate John to be treasurer.
I'll second that. No, you only get one. You didn't give me one.
You don't have to do anything, Don. I take care of everything.
All in favor? Opposed? You're gonna oppose? There you go.
treasurer? I'm not gonna have to do anything.
What's that?
I'm gonna be the treasurer. I don't want to have to do
No,
anything.
you're very valuable to what you do, and I thank you for doing that. All right, so we've got that done. What's that? Yeah, this is a pretty incredible bunch. I'll give you, fundraising now that.
So the golf tournament's gonna be Sunday, August 30th at 9 a.m. We can have between 15 and 18. We probably don't want 15, so we'll just try to get 15 teams. Our cost is $35 a person, so I was thinking we'll say $50 a person. So if you want to get a 4-person team, it'll be $200. And that's typical of most golf tournaments. The ones that I've seen recently are $65 to $75 a person. But we'll just start off small so that if we get 15 teams, that'll be 60 people. So that'll give us $900 just on that. And then whatever other fundraising we do. Where's the golf? It'll be at Barnesbrook. So if each director can get a team, I'm going to get a poster together and we're going to get it over to Mike and we'll get it on Facebook. We'll get it posted out there and we'll see if we can't start getting some
Are you
teams.
still gonna hit some businesses?
Yeah, I'm going to go. So what are you guys thinking? I was thinking we'll start off kind of small. We'll do maybe $150 for a whole sponsor. I'll go knock on all the doors around here and infield and, we'll just get sponsors for each hole and that'll just be straight fundraising, that'll be straight donations.
Might want to do like 2-tier. I don't know.
Yeah, we could do
Yeah, I
that.
mean, like a gold tier and
Yeah.
like something like.
Yeah, a lot of them, I was going to go sit with Mike. I talked to him a little bit today. I was going to go sit with him and get a little bit more ideas. And then, I know the guy that runs Jado too. And, I was going to talk to him about how they do their stuff and get some better ideas. And then, so we got a little more than a month and a half to.
Yeah, we gotta get going because
Yeah, we need to get rolling
it'll go really
Yeah.
fast.
because there's a
Yeah.
lot of other there's a lot of
A
other
lot
golf
of
tournaments
people,
this summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it seems to be the thing to do.
I could do. Ooh, I don't even know. Volunteer this.
Well,
Want
I
me to
can,
make you a flyer.
well, yeah, if you want to put one together, I was going to.
I nominate.
August 30th. That's the last Sunday of the month, right? Yeah, that's a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
He said we can rent, he'll set up tents and tables for us if we want to do that. It's $250 for a 20 by 40 with tables and chairs.
Mhm.
So if we want to do, burgers and dogs,
Yeah.
something like that, I think we can cook them and, collect the money for that. So there's still a couple little things to figure out. And then I'll go knock on doors in Lincoln as well and try to get donations for like a silent auction. We can just put them on the table and see if we can get, things like that.
I'll
So,
let you go to Lincoln.
I get one question. And then play golf.
Doesn't make any difference.
My son Cody and I, it doesn't have ammunition. We don't get involved.
You could bring a shotgun.
yeah, I've got spare clubs too,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It'll be fun.
And you don't like each need a set of clubs.
No,
Like you can do like a set per cart
Yeah.
and be fine.
But you can bring a fire.
Yeah, you should go.
And I was thinking we'd probably do a 4-person scramble. So it'll just be, you play best ball, so it moves along
Yeah.
fast. So, everybody hits and then everybody moves to the best ball and then you hit again and you move.
So everyone should have one good player on the team.
That will help.
Yeah, it makes it go faster. It makes it more fun. You just hit that ball all the time. You okay now?
Yeah. So,
Okay. Get a website update. I think I have a training session this Friday. I kind of con the people into giving us, let me go on to another group. I'm not positive about it. If not, we're gonna have training at the end of the month and we should be able to start adding stuff soon because I really want to be able to use the website for a lot of different things so that we can get news out and do
Correct news, you mean?
like incorrect news. Is that true? But basically, yeah, so that's gonna happen and it's working. The audit, we finally got something from Wadman Associates or whoever they are. I read through it. It's like a preliminary. And I talked to Gina because Enfield uses the same person. And then once they've got this back, they send like a loose leaf flyer or whatever with all the stuff, but there were no findings. It was clean all the way through. So the only thing that we didn't like is it took a year to get there. And at the last meeting, we talked about, not many of us were thrilled that it was so hard to do this. And I did call another CPA firm, the one that Burlington uses, and, they are willing to do it with a caveat. And I don't know what that's gonna mean. They can't do an audit on federal funds. So like the money that comes in from the CDS, they could do it. And so I thought it would be a one-time thing, but Josh says there may be federal money coming often or sometimes. So they won't do it because it takes, a whole bunch of extra education, continuing education, and they see it's not worth the money to do it, so they don't want to do it. So that may preclude them from doing. So maybe we can ask Wadman to be a little more punctual.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
That's slow too for you guys? You use them?
We've always been behind and that's okay with them.
We've used that in a long time.
Well, I'll ask some questions about the federal money thing.
Mhm. I get mine within a week after they do their.
Well,
You call
it-
for us?
Where are you guys at, David?
You call for us?
Yeah,
and they can do it faster?
Next week.
So you're-
I guess we had.
Wadman's bringing yours next
online
week?
forms, so they
So we get ours
have
first.
it.
Thank you.
From last year?
Yeah, last year. Well, part of it was they said they were sold and the guys went on vacation and I don't understand it. I think it's like taxes, because the lady at this firm said that it's first in, first out. So if we're on a, June 30th cycle with a lot of other places, so the people who get there first obviously get their stuff done first. She thought, without a doubt, it would be done at least by December or early January if we went with that. And it'd be about the same price. So I don't know.
Do they have the ability to do the audits for federal money?
No, they don't, they have the ability. They don't want to do it because they have to take extra work to do it. July 19th is not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Can you tell them what's going on July 19th and I'll invite them?
July
The
19th.
firm.
Oh, okay, yeah, so we have the new recruits are in their 5 week of orientation process. July 19th is their live burn day. So we do, all day hands-on live fires.
And that's how the training place up there?
Yep.
Okay. So,
We do that on
what's that?
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. What time is it?
We start with the training briefs between 7 and 8. I don't know, we're probably there by now.
Yeah, about 9 o'clock on the fire.
So I was thinking I was gonna go. I wanted to drag along my wife to come. I'll throw up a pop-up tent so we get some shade in case we need it or cover from rain. I got a couple of them if we needed it. If you want to bring some chairs and encourage these guys and watch. On the next note on that, last year we budgeted for like a GoPro kind of camera and Josh bought one. I sent him a thing for like, it was a $200 camera. It looks really good. So I will begin taking video. I'll take some videos of that training and start posting once we get the website up and do a not only on Facebook, but on YouTube. And then I'm going to take it on to start being here like I am, but taking time to film training, like Josh did the one a few years ago, like a walk around a piece of equipment. So we can constantly be letting our public know what we're doing. So.
I stopped in the other night and I know you guys are just reviewing YouTube fires, but videos of fires, but I sat there for 15 minutes
Size up.
and watching.
Size up class.
Yeah, but that was very interesting for me because it was all new stuff, but that would be great video too.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, and then the last one of like new old business is we budgeted money for like the recognition for the crews to do a dinner a quarter. So I'm gonna volunteer for one of we need 4 people or 4 groups of people. I'm gonna volunteer for one between now and it's probably better to wait till the fall, like September when it's a little cooler, and then we pick up. Do you have a day no day is good, but it might be better to say we're gonna do it on this day and then have people come in and bring however we're gonna do that.
I think Sundays
Sunday.
will be the best day, so
Okay.
we put less on the schedule on Sundays for them to accomplish, and it's more of a training day.
Okay.
So Sundays may be a good day
So it'd be
in the
like an afternoon meal, like a
Yeah.
late afternoon meal. So,
we just have to figure out, make sure we're hitting a different crew every
yeah,
Sunday.
no, once you volunteer now, we're taking one of the 4. Then I'll get with him or Cody and look at the schedule and say, we'll know what Sundays it'll be in the next 3 months so we don't overlap on a crew. And, so
What do you want us to do? Like make dinner or
No,
pick
I
up
think
dinner?
we budgeted some money. You can go get takeout, you can buy stuff and get reimbursed. Whatever you want to do. I was thinking about, but seriously thinking about just doing a bunch of steaks and salads and dessert and grill it for them, for the one that I'm gonna do. So,
So a crew is 5 plus, so, but assume probably 7 or 8 people. Because you guys might be in the station. Maybe there might be something else. If there's a fire going on.
yeah, we can find out ahead of time. But basically, if you want to plan on at least 6 people, feeding 6 people. So who else wants to play?
4 times.
We're doing in 1 quarter, we're gonna do it 4 times. So right.
Well, it's a 24-hour shifts, then we're doing it like 4 Sundays,
4 Sundays,
4
correct?
Sundays per quarter.
Yeah, per quarter.
Yep.
So I got
And-
one.
I can
I'm-
just give you the.
Well, I mean, I'll
card.
help. I'm more than willing to help, but it would be easier for me to decide when I'm doing it if I could just see if we could pick Sundays and I could say, yeah, I can do it this one and I can do it this one. And do
Okay,
it
well,
that would be
I'll
easier.
email you after I look at the schedule. And then, but anybody else want to commit before they know what day it
Yeah,
is?
I'll do one.
Okay, would you write those down?
So Josh, John, you and me.
Did you say?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if anybody else wants to help on any of them, let us know.
Harley.
I haven't told her yet. Well,
Yeah. And basically, if you don't choose to go get takeout, get the receipts for what you buy and we'll reimburse you because we set money aside for this. And there's a couple things that are really good about this. Number 1, it's recognition for them. Number 2, you get to know and you get to see these crews. I mean, this is pretty incredibly unbelievable folks that are downstairs working all the time.
Mhm.
And I'd encourage anybody to stop in. Go ahead.
one more thing.
Yeah.
We've got some new hires.
Oh, we're gonna go there in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted.
No, he's going to, he's got a big bunch in a minute. Retention and recruitment. Yeah, but I'd encourage you to,
I thought that's where we were. That's where all these notes are. So
that's okay. So that's about it. Now, retention and recruitment, can you give us an update on all what's going on?
We filled the 6 vacancies. What we found is that even when we have people that have come in with certifications, not everybody gets the same education and experience and so forth. So we have to vet everyone. So it's 5 weeks of days of orientation. We've made it tough. They work hard. And the first week is like the second week we ramp it up to what you saw this week.
Yeah.
And that typically will flush them out. In the past, our orientation process has not been as stringent as it is now because we didn't have as many applicants. We had to basically take whatever we could get for folks. So we did lose 1 this week. So we've got 5 that are killing it. They're doing great. And like the 19th, we have a live burn. Next week, it's a couple days of fire, it'll be pumping and so forth. And then they switch to, there'll be 2 days of just EMS skills. So that's how the orientation is set up. What else?
How many paramedics and advanced EMTs you get out of that bunch?
We got 1 paramedic, so we hired, the ex-Bangor fire chief. He's a paramedic, he's a fire instructor. Huge amount of knowledge. So he's actually been helping us teach this academy. So it's been killer. So he's gonna run D crew for us. He's gonna be the shift officer on D crew. So he is a paramedic, so that'll give us a paramedic on every crew now, which we've never had. And then the others they're all at least EMT. So that's what we've got. We had a student from the college that's doing his ride time with us. He's an Old Town fireman. He lives in Enfield. And he's had a positive experience here. and wants to work part-time here. So we're gonna start to try to use him, if we can get him vetted to how we do things and so forth. To try to start to fill some of those vacancies where we're still gonna be down a guy. We have one that's out with a torn knee. I don't know when he'll be back. It'll be at least 6 weeks from the time he had surgery. We have one that's deploying in November, December. He'll be gone for a year. So even though we've hired, we're still gonna have holes in that
And you got one
schedule.
in FMLA.
And I've got one starting next week.
And you have another one that
FMLA
may,
for 10 weeks.
and you may have another one that has a knee problem.
We might,
You do. So,
but they're doing great.
Yeah.
We got 5 really good hires.
the young fellow that moved here from Indiana to come to this service is quite a character.
And
He,
Yeah.
but have you met him?
he goes to my church.
Okay. He basically, he's been texting back to guys in his service that says, if there's an opening, you should come here.
Yeah, he
That's
and
the
his
kind of-
wife are loving.
That's the kind of
He's
stuff
very
that
motivating.
they're doing.
We advertise
Yeah.
nationwide,
Yeah.
and we were lucky to pick.
Well, let me just tell you,
A big city department, really big.
those of you who see our Facebook page for Central Maine Highlands Fire, I put out a picture of Derek and Steve, the two guys that were first out. That got about 8,000 views in a couple days. Last week, when I put the picture of the 4 new firefighters out, 21,000 views in about 2 to 3 days.
Even I clicked on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, so and then it's not just, Josh says there aren't that many people there. Well, there are a lot of firefighters in places from around the country that are seeing it. So the more stuff that we put out there, the better it is. And it really is. I mean, these guys, and I've been here a lot this week and last week, and they're just like full of it. I mean, they really are thrilled to be here. And the young man that ended up being the mechanic / firefighter / EMT, since he sat out there one night, and since we talked about that and he came on board, he's lost 23 pounds. He's been pounding at work. So, and he's decided he loves to be a firefighter, but I told him he's still going to turn wrenches. So,
Well, did I hear it right? That a couple of them were more or less volunteered to go on that call,
oh yeah, tell him about that one
like pistol.
out the Pistol Lake.
Oh, yeah, yeah, so we had a crazy busy day, and I ended up taking a transfer to Bangor, and while I was at Easter Maine, I see it come across the phone that we had a building fire at Pistol Lake. So it's an hour and 15 minutes to get there, and it is our covered area. So the call come in is woods fire, camps on fire, or multiple buildings on fire, and ended up being about a half acre. So I had an ambulance out on a 911 call, so he was back here covering, and they were extremely short. 2 or 3 guys left. So they rolled out. We all got back eventually, and we had guys that were on orientation begging to go with us. So we let some of them come in and go with us. And I ended up staying back covering the station so that we had an officer and a paramedic here. And then at about midnight, we had a rollover accident with entrapment in Burlington. So we had 3 of us. We rolled out to that. We got back from that, and about 4 o'clock in the morning, these guys are all rolling back in. And it was a really good feeling, because I walk out in the bay and these guys are all laughing and joking. They're watching the fire truck at 4 in the morning. Dead dog tired, but the group is.
They're solid.
Yeah.
They're coming together.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see. I encourage you to stop in because, when he told me that story, it's like, that's crazy. People don't do that now. And what we're trying to build and what he's built over the years And what we're trying to support is what's happening, and it is happening, and people want to come here. So, you got anything else on that?
No, not unless you can jog my memory.
No, well, I was gonna say, last meeting, we talked about the working towards putting 2 on next year. And I've talked to Josh about this, and he's actually talked to me about it, and what we're probably gonna bring to the board is a budget neutral, bring 1 on board sometime later this year of those 2 that we'll budget for next year, because he's got 1 guy being deployed.
Yeah.
And we pay nothing for that. He's whole by the Army.
Yeah.
We've got another one on FMLA for 12 weeks. That's a, quarter of the year that we're not paying, at least not yet. And then we've got 1, maybe 2 on disability coming up. So there's gonna be enough money to fund that so that we don't take a regress, a step back by losing, by having someone go and then not have someone to backfill it.
Are they all on different shifts, Josh?
Um,
So we're not gonna have to backfill overtime. I know that's
Yeah.
the
so,
risk. If they got 2 on the same shift, you might have to.
Yeah, each one is a different
Yeah,
shift.
they're all different. right
Yeah,
now.
that's working out good. So as soon as we have 1 person additional on one of those shifts, then we'll have overtime.
So anyway, so that's retention and recruitment. I sent out the financials. Did you, everyone get a chance to look at them? And probably, why does my pen do that? That's terrible. The biggest thing about the financials, we ended up the year, we kind of validated it. But the P&L that you have shows we have about $401,000 at the end of the year. When we called the bank yesterday, it was 431, but there's money against that. So last year, this time, we had $41,000 and we had to take out a line of credit. So the year ended up slightly less in expenses and slightly less in revenue, but the revenue was still considerably more than last year. And I just want to say thank you to you guys, because there's a lot of work that went into that, obviously, and a lot of the transfers that you do are making a huge difference. We're about 1.1 million in transfers this year, and we still missed
70 a month.
we still missed some. So it's absolutely unbelievable. The other thing is I looked at the numbers, and overtime last year was $245,000. And hopefully this year and I'm not trying, one of the guys asked me, are you trying to get rid of overtime? And I said, no, we're trying to make it so we're not mandating you overtime. That's the discussion we had last meeting. And it's going to work. So does anyone have any questions about the financials that I sent out? And the month of June came out really well. But one of the reasons why it came out so well is Enfield paid twice, because there was like a FUBAR in May that they had a problem with their bank, and so they paid us twice. And so it's not quite the 100,000, it's probably about 40,000, but it's still a good month with the fact that there was a number of people short and some challenges with staffing.
You made a
Questions?
Okay.
No, my wife's gonna laugh at this one. I was in the bathroom the other day, I had this idea, and I always have great ideas in the bathroom. Most of my great ideas come from the bathroom, actually.
I would have never guessed that.
Is that TMI?
Yes.
It's probably in the shower. Next month, what I'd like to do is, and I'm gonna ask Jeff to help me, that we're gonna take last year's budget and last year's actual, and we're gonna go through each one and look at it and see what kind of job that these guys did, because it's unbelievable. And the other thing I forgot to say is that we had an audit that I told them, I'm gonna tell them again. We had an audit with these 2 gentlemen that's not their job, it's not their strong suit, that we had an audit that came back clean. Now, we also had Doug Terrio at Andy Stop allows his bookkeeper, Michelle Atherton, to do all the input into QuickBooks. And she's really, obviously, she's great at it and she loves it. But these 2 did an incredible job, because not having done this before. So do you have anything to say about that?
Yes.
Well,
Cody and I are gonna be town managers now.
Wow, there's an opening in Lincoln.
We've been here. Both gonna fly to Lincoln.
I thought only one of you were going. I
I
thought you were.
know, he's my.
Oh, you're gonna be the assistant.
Yes, sir.
So you can do both these jobs?
No.
I wish Mickle John was there. But it, huh? Okay. But anyway, it's quite a feat to do that. So thank you again. You guys, you killed it. So next month we'll get together and do that and just look at it, because I think it's worthwhile at the end of the year to look at that and see, are there places to improve? What could we have done different? I don't know, but I tell you, it was pretty good. I'm excited about it.
Well, we have been trying to get the budget to look like the report coming out. So we've got all the details of all the hours and.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah,
saying,
it's
yes,
gonna
I'm
make it, it'll be nice to look
yeah,
at.
but what I'm talking about is the fact that the numbers came pretty close. I mean, the fact that the budget that he submitted
Yeah.
was pretty darn close to what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a group want to consider inviting all the select board members of each town.
Good idea, thank you.
How to build budget sessions?
No, just so they understand what they're paying
Yeah.
for.
Absolutely.
So could you go back to your respective select people and ask them to come next month? If they don't, we'll do it, and we'll probably put that up front so that if they want to leave, they can. And just run through that process that we're gonna do that, so that they know what they're getting. And I wish that more selectmen and women would come to this meeting, because they've learned something. So anyway. Hi. Anybody else have any other stuff? Because I got one more thing.
Yes.
Yes.
We noted earlier in this year that we're going to set a meeting in August, so that seasonal residents could attend for an informational meeting.
Yes,
so
I'm-
we have the date set for that
No.
yet.
The town, I mean, the Enfield Station School is very nice. But they haven't talked, they just haven't given me a date yet. So I called them twice this week and they're working on it.
Okay.
And they said we can do it. So once I get that date, and I'll try to make it between now and the end of the month or early in August, while there's still a lot of, the camp people are here.
Mhm.
And then I'll send a notice out to everyone and I would really appreciate it if everyone came.
I'll
Because,
try, but it depends on how much notice we have.
well, no. I told her it would be like towards the end of this
Okay.
month. So.
This month?
July. This month or August,
Okay.
at the beginning. I want to, while the summer people are here, so it'll be end of sometime after this meeting, I wanted it, and before the next meeting.
Okay,
Right, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
I can only do what I can do.
I can only work so many paid and unpaid jobs.
Oh, Oh, and then I was just handed this. This is pretty cool. This is going to be put in a plaque.
On Bob's refrigerator.
There's no room on my refrigerator.
Oh, is this
This
the,
is the fact that Central Maine Highlands Fire and EMS District #1 was awarded or rewarded or recognized as the #1 service in the state last year.
Wow.
And that's all because we're a district and because of what these guys do. So he doesn't like it, but I'm gonna ask him to put it on get it framed up and stick it in the lobby or stick it.
Did any money come on that?
They probably send a bill.
Yeah.
No, but it will, on grant applications, that will be very helpful.
All right, last thing. This one's not as much fun. Recently in the paper and was said in person that I pushed this board. And I wanted to do that before we voted for me. But I'd like to know if you feel, or if your perception is, do I lead you or do I push you? Yes.
Want me to wait till the end?
No, you can go now.
You don't have a political bone, your body, Bob, but I think that's what we need. I felt that since the day that I met you here. And so without you, I don't think that we would have gained as much ground, or without a leader like yourself. Matthew pushed us along and did a great job. And then, of course, he went on to other things. So I feel like if we don't have somebody taken the charge from the front, then we'll just sit here and talk about the same things over and over. So I've never taken it as that you've pushed us. And I think it's part of your job as the president to sort of push us.
Yep.
I give you information of what our needs are, and if you don't bring that forward, then we just sit here twiddle our thumbs and talk about the same things, meeting after meeting, and table things, and so that's how I feel about it. I thought that it was unfair.
Well, 1 second, John. The only reason, and this isn't about me. It's partly about me. If you perceive me as pushing, then I would like to know that so I could adjust my style. It's gonna be hard, but I would. But number two, I'm worried about the public perception. That if it's in the paper that Bob Janess is pushing the board, I don't want, our taxpayers don't want to hear that. They want to know that we're a unified body, that we work together. So, John.
Yes, I want to say, Bob, that I think I've said this before, that I feel you're exactly the person we need in that position. 2 years, what we've accomplished, this group, in this department has accomplished is pretty amazing to me. To be where we are financially, and business is 2 years old. This is a business.
Yeah, it
needs
is.
to be run as such. It can't be run on emotions or feelings or the fear that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings. We have to treat everybody with respect and understanding, but we also have to run it as a business. I think you've done that very well. And like Josh says, I don't think there's anything about you political, and I don't think you could be if you wanted to be.
No.
I appreciate what you do, personally speaking, and watchful. Again, that's what we need. We need something to keep us on track. I appreciate that.
You gonna say something?
Yep.
I agree with John, and also, our message is our message. How we put it out, that's the message we put out. The other stuff is just it's noise,
Background.
and it's distracting.
It is, and
So-
the reason that I brought this up was two. Number one, if I needed to change my style some, then I certainly would. And number two, well, I would try to. And number two, it is public perception, and that's important to us because the public is who pays the bill. And if we have that perception, it's not good. And I wish he'd have been here for this part of the meeting, not because you said things about me, but so that people understand that this is a unified body, that we're working together.
Then we will get the message out. Our Facebook is
Yeah,
doing that,
yeah,
the
the-
website's.
Yeah, the
gonna do
website's
that.
going to be paramount. It's going to be very important to do that so that we can try to control our own narrative.
Mhm.
Once the Facebook's up, we can also start posting our meetings too.
Well, and I'm gonna,
Or on
what
Facebook,
I'm
sorry, the
gonna,
webpage.
I'm gonna do the meetings. I'd like to do the meetings on YouTube and put a link on the page.
Yeah.
On our website, just link it right to YouTube, because that's what, people go there all the time anyway.
You live stream right onto the,
Onto YouTube.
onto the website.
I don't know that answer.
Yeah, it should be able to be embedded most likely.
It's gonna be
I
embedded,
would be surprised if it couldn't.
yeah.
I'm not the tech guy.
I haven't asked that question, but more than likely, it's gonna be like a YouTube embedded video that I put a link in, and when they touch it, it goes to YouTube and gets them. So,
There might be a way to do it with the meeting because it's part of Google.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's the other thing, these meetings, everything will be out in the public. The other thing I guess I need to ask him instead of telling you. The financials, this is we're supposed to be transparent. So once we get the website up, there's gonna be a place for financials. And every month when we do the P&L, I'm gonna stick it out there. So the public can look at it. And I think from now on, I'm going to. I'm gonna give you a P&L for year to date and a P&L for the month. So we can see how we're doing, right? Month to month, so we can see what's going on. And then if there's questions, we can ask these guys, like, how come? What's going on?
Mhm.
Or you did a great job, thank you. So, the other one that was in the paper was that the board, it was said that some people on the board were thinking about, or quoted as saying that they want to put the brakes on what our dealings with Howard. And I don't, every time we've had a vote, it's been unanimous. So.
I'm amazed. I don't read that paper for a reason,
I wouldn't buy it light of fire.
because you can't believe anything in it. I've had him correct so many things from my own meetings.
Yeah.
And he won't even correct them.
No, that they don't ever correct anything and it's
No.
so irritating.
Yes.
I
The only
read it
thing-
and I'm like, I was at this meeting and this is
And they
not how
wonder
this
why
meeting
nobody
went.
buys the papers.
But I think, it looks like they may be going to digital soon. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure, and I wish he was here, but hopefully it'll be on, is that thing recording? So we can put this out, that we're a unified board. And I'm not saying that we're unified against you, but we're unified in what we're doing and how we're doing it. So with that, we have time for public comment. Anybody got any? Yes, sir.
I probably missed it, but on your, golf escapade that you're going on, what's the money being raised?
We're raising money to buy a mild hyperbaric chamber and an oxygen concentrator, which will give all the crews an opportunity to be in it. Excuse me, and that lady right there can tell you more about it if you'd like to know more about it. It has an unbelievable amount of benefits for well-being, especially coming out of a fire and with smoke inhalation and stuff like that, and then with inflammation. There's just all kinds of things that will help them. So that's what the money's going towards.
Like
Well, that's a
these
very
knees,
serious, very
Like the
serious
knees.
cause. And I would suspect, knowing most of you the way I do, that there'll be some animation on the golf course. So will you be filming that and sharing that?
I never thought about that. Yeah, I got a camera.
It shows the camaraderie and
Sure.
just what you.
That's a
guys
good
do.
idea. I hadn't thought about that.
I think it's important to have somebody.
Yeah.
Some unbiased person to go around.
She doesn't want to play golf. I'll make her
He'll
the
make
camera.
you dizzy if he's behind the camera.
Film some of the clown acts that I'm sure will be happening.
Well, that's a good idea. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Anything else?
How's the CDS going?
Well,
Very well. How far are we in the process?
moving along. So we were getting frustrated because we were told through email that in May, there would be a Zoom meeting so that we could watch and see how to fill the form out when it became time and so forth. That didn't happen. So it was into June. I had correspondence with Carol Woodcock and she said it's never taken this long. And so anyway, it rolled out.
I'm sorry. I don't know if everybody knows what you're talking about.
oh, congressional,
The money for the ambulance
discretionary
is
spending.
from what used to be earmarks, now it's congressional directed spending. Sounds much better than earmarks.
$1.8 million for 3 ambulances.
Yeah.
3 brand new ambulances with equipment and so forth. So, we watched the Zoom. I took notes. There was a guide that you could download. I downloaded the guide, took my highlighter out, and did all of that. And what we found is that nothing in the instructions went along with the website. So I can't remember how many times we called the helpline and they would say, no, you gotta call HRSA, so call this number. And we would do that and they would say, no, you gotta call back to the helpline. Oh my God. It is typical federal funding.
Tell
And
them the
so
good news.
I got it complete.
And one might need to know for sure.
So what it said is that if there was nothing wrong with the application, then it sounds like the funds would start to be released like the 1st of September.
Okay.
So we've got everything lined up as far as our vendors and all of that for building the ambulances and the cardiac monitors and all of that. We've got it ready, but the process was, well, it's, the instructions were not.
Mhm.
And
No.
so it would say, okay, we'll use this form. And so you go on the site and there's no form. It's not like they had a link, just download this form, put it in whatever, and
Did this go through agriculture?
No.
HHS?
It was,
HRSA.
it's HRSA. HRSA does HRSA is like the same outfit that does, PCHC and, HON. They do all the health stuff. And since this is the ambulance, the money comes from the Senate, from the Treasury, and it gets administered. And the thing that sounded so crazy to me is you had to go through all this to get the thing. And then once you got it, you have to go
You
through
have to
even more.
apply. It's
Yeah.
like you're applying.
You're applying for money,
that you've
yeah, but they already
got.
give it to you, so.
But anyway, that was the worst part, right? As far as the information they were requesting is not that difficult. In fact, he showed me Grok, and that's like, that makes me sound way smarter than I am. So, you know, it wasn't that bad, but good God, when you don't even know what they're asking for.
Right.
And you call the help desk and they transfer you back and forth. And then at one point they said, well, you got to contact your rep. And it's a name that I can't even pronounce. And so I said, do you have a phone number? No, all it says is this email. Okay. So they're part of your organization, but you don't have a contact number for him, or I don't know. And no, but you can send an email to this email. Well, I have that email. So I sent the email. What did they say?
Wrong place.
Yeah.
I got nothing to do with it. I don't know why you emailed me.
Right. Why did you email me? You need to call the help desk. Oh my God. So this went on for several days to get this submitted, but hopefully it's done right. I have absolutely no idea, nothing to go by to say that we did it right. But it did say in there that if it's not right, they should contact you, and it may stall when we get the money, but I did the best that I could. And even when we called the help desk and started asking about some of this, the help guy started chuckling.
Just think how many calls he's getting about
I'm
that.
sure.
At
you
least,
know,
at
like,
least was he in America?
that one spoke English.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
One of 12.
Yeah.
Any other public comments, anything? Questions?
If they're gonna give us $1.8 million, I'll do that every day of the week, whatever, you know, but holy cow, was it frustrating.
Are they
I
still
want to do
saying,
it right.
they still saying about 18 months on the turnaround for the,
Yep, from the time that we pull the trigger, the soonest that we'll see a vehicle would be 18 months.
So just before we adjourn, he's now on the hunt for a used ambulance and he's looking at one
Next week.
next week.
Yeah.
And then still looking for a pumper truck, a pumper engine. So
The two that I had brought forth, you guys had sold. That's the problem is if you're
yeah.
looking, you need to be able to pull the trigger right away. And the market the way it is.
Right now, the way it goes, after we voted last month, I sent those motions to Mike Kelly with Machias Savings Bank. All he has to do is call, give a VIN number and a price and a place, and we're up and running. So it won't, it's all okay. It's all good now.
what did we authorize for what did we put in the budget for the 350?
350.
Up to a 350.
And I guess it's probably not a bad time to ask. I've got two things. I forgot one, and it's related to the one I forgot. Right now we have about $400,000 in the checking account. I would like to find, I sent my child savings bank yesterday when I called them. I said, I hate leaving about $500,000 there and you're not giving me any interest. So I talked to Gina at Enfield today and asked got some contact numbers from another bank for CDs, short-term CDs. The question is, do we need permission to go buy a CD in town stuff? I know they have to make a motion to do it.
I don't think so.
Other nonprofit boards that I've been on, when we move funds into CDs,
Yeah.
it is something that we vote
That's
on.
some-
It's
Yeah,
a
you'd have
board
to
vote.
vote. I think we'd have to vote on it.
On like X amount of
X amount of
dollars
dollars
and the term of the CD
Right.
that we're going to do.
So between now and next month, I'd like to figure that out and bring something to you, so we can put some money aside, because that'll be for vehicle reserve. Which leads to the second question is, when we talked about this earlier, for the 350, I remember George sitting over there saying, and I asked the question, can we use vehicle reserve to pay for some of that? And the answer was, yeah, you could, but whatever. So now the question is, why don't you tell me a scenario about like at 350 is a good number, but what are we get, what are we trying to accomplish?
Yeah, so the problem that I'm seeing is that our goal is to get that average age of the fleet up,
Mhm.
right? So we're trying to address what the insurance company had recommended. So it then that's all, right? Our fleet is too old.
Borderline required.
So we're trying to get the average age of the fleet up so that we don't lose our insurer. And the hard part is to try to get something like 2010 or newer. It's $500,000. So I had found a couple that were in like that 2008 era. But that kind of stinks to spend $350,000 on something that's in 2008.
Almost 20
And
years
then
old.
like what you brought up, like the term of the loan, what is that thing even gonna look like at that time?
Mhm.
So I don't have the right answer, but
Should we talk before you do anything? Should we get some guidance from the insurance? I mean, if we're gonna buy something 2008 or 2010,
Yeah.
you know, and they're gonna tell us in 4 years, if we buy
That's-
something that, hey, I'm not gonna insure this anymore, I mean,
Right.
we've just kind of shot ourselves in the foot.
So my other question is to think about it and maybe even make some kind of decision tonight to take some of that reserve and apply it on top of that 350. So that so it maybe get you to a threshold that get closer to a newer vehicle. If hi there. I got
You look left.
Yeah. I'm trying. If in fact we want to increase or decrease the age of the fleet or whatever the way it goes, that take some money from vehicle reserve now to apply to that number so that we can maybe get something a little newer.
Yeah, and that's where my train of thought is, and I'm remembering, and I would have to go back and dig, but I think we agreed that loan for 350 was in addition to some that's already in the vehicle reserve that we were authorizing him to be able to use that.
Correct.
And George's comment was that he likes to see that vehicle reserve not dip. I think under 150 was his recommended benchmark, if I'm remembering that, and I'm just quoting memory here.
That sounds about right.
But yes, I think using some of that, what we have
So,
in our, for that, yes, put that towards that, talk to the insurance company to find out what that ballpark range of what makes them happy for
Yeah.
an average age of our fleet, so that we
give
can,
us any guidance.
yeah, if we
and they
can find out
probably,
what
they're
that,
probably gonna be pretty nebulous on that. But so let me ask you this question. Well, let's just do it this way.
can I,
Oh, you got one more? I'm sorry.
yes, one more thing. And then whatever that number kind of works out roughly at, to shop for CD options for that other
Well,
remaining.
Yeah, so what I'd like to do now is not handcuff him potentially. So I'd like to make a motion that we already got the 350 in the budget. I'll make a motion that we go another $50,000 from vehicle reserve or from equipment reserve so that he can use up to that $50,000 plus the 350.
I think we already gave him 60.
I don't
In
think,
the
I can't
minutes.
remember. We talked about it.
we
but I don't
talked, I
know.
think we
but I
only
think
talked
it was
about it, but we
60.
didn't know, because we
We
didn't know.
didn't
what-
make a motion on it.
No,
but
we
just
didn't,
said it
because we
would be
didn't know
there.
what the end of the year was gonna look like.
And I can, as I continue to research that, I can send the information to you with like pros and cons of
No.
this one.
Yeah, well, the only thing I'm
something, I
worried
mean,
about is if Thursday morning next
Right.
week,
that's
that
it.
you see one that's like, this is it, and it's like 405 or whatever, and we can't do it because we didn't authorize them to do it.
Mhm.
So I'll make a motion that we authorize an additional $50,000 from vehicle reserve if he needs it for a vehicle, a newer vehicle. That's a motion.
I'll second it so we can talk about it.
Did you second that?
I did.
Any discussion?
Can't wait for that to come back.
Well, my guess is whatever we put in there for this year, because last year we ended up at 41,000, and I don't think. Did we fund any vehicle reserve last year?
We didn't have enough.
We
We
put
didn't have enough.
140 in last year. Or no, I'm sorry, 80. We put 80,000. So. And then we put 140 in last year. in vehicle.
But where's that money?
It's just sitting in the bank.
So it's part of that four
It's
hundred.
part of the
Yeah,
400,000. That's what I'm saying.
Saving.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we really only have 150,000 or something. Or, I know it's there, but we haven't funded it to that account, if you would.
Yeah, we haven't made a separate account.
We haven't made a
yet
separate account.
because
That's what I
we were
wanna
so
do.
worried about running short on the
Yeah.
budget.
So basically,
Yeah, we've got 140 plus 41, so we got 181 that we could say should go to vehicle reserve. And then we had 150 of the year that just ended in contingency. We could put some of that towards vehicle reserve, or we could use that now.
well, right now we have somewhere in the ballpark of about $200,000 extra and $200,000. Cause
That should be earmarked. for
yeah,
vehicle reserve.
we need to have at least $200,000 as we start this year off,
Yeah.
at least, if not more. So funding that is still kind of on paper. You only got
Yeah.
200,000 to play with, essentially. So we'd have 150 to put there if we took 50 and put it on with this motion.
Would it be smart to move whatever you say should be in vehicle reserve into the savings? So take it out of checking, put it in savings, and then it'll give
Yeah.
us a clearer
Or-
picture of what our available funds, even though we had access to them.
And one of the
But
things,
like, it's really supposed to be for vehicles.
right, and basically that's money we could put, if we could make, once we find out what the rates are, is put that in a CD, a short-term CD, and just keep rolling it over.
Or something that's slightly more flexible than a CD would even be like a high yield savings account or a money market account where
Yeah.
you can still access it fairly quickly,
Yeah.
liquidate it that way, but you can get a 9 to 20, like a much higher
But-
percentage yield.
You can get your money out of a CD immediately. You
Yeah,
Pay
pay
the penalty,
penalty, yeah.
but you don't
You
have
just
to
don't
pay a
get any
penalty.
interest.
when your
Well,
money
like
goes.
That's the penalty. You don't get any interest.
Yeah, well, one of the things is that Enfield does, they take 4 weeks, 3 months and 6 month CDs all the time.
Yeah, we do too.
Mhm.
You do too, yeah,
Yeah, we
Mhm.
bounce money around
Yeah.
all the time.
all the time. So the short-term ones don't make as much interest, but at least it's making interest. It's just not sitting there letting Machias use it. So, John,
Yes, to the chief, but you know of any high purchase items that you foresee in the future for this fiscal year that predict might come?
We're not budgeted for, you
Yeah,
know,
we're not budgeted for or something, but
no.
I think the good news, the really kind of good news is that as our mechanic / firefighter EMT onboards, and he's talked to me about it, to do preventive maintenance and get things before they break and take care of things ahead of time. And that will make a big difference. And then whatever savings we have there is going to be paramount, but just to have him here to do that, it's going to be very valuable, I think. And hopefully he likes this as much as he says, and he'll be around for a while. So, any other discussion on this motion?
What was the motion?
To take $50,000 of
The vehicle reserve.
the vehicle reserve and make it available to him to go so that he could buy a vehicle up to 400,000 if he had to, if that will give us something else that
Mhm.
raise the age. One more?
I think that's a base level, but I think at the same time, like without a ballpark idea from the insurance company,
Sure.
then that completely negates that motion. It makes it useless unless we know what we need to shoot for, so that we know what our budget is actually gonna be.
Well, yes, and it'll be interesting what they say, because in the recommendation, they just said you need to do something. They may or may not be very specific. So my concern with bringing this motion to the 50 is if he sees something next week that's 390 or 405, you know what I mean? Something that he can get that we can't do, because that's all we're hamstrung. So that's all I'm trying to do with that motion. Make it so that he potentially can, if he finds one.
I was hoping to find something that 2010 era, and even that, you're 16 years old.
Yeah.
But
I don't
You're
think
looking
that
at $1
50,
million
I don't think that
for
50
a
on
new one.
350 is gonna be enough.
Should we talk to the insurance company first this next month?
Well, we could call another meeting.
Yeah, we could. Can we do it? What?
it's gonna replace a 1995 and a 2001. So
Anything.
anything we do is gonna
Push
boost
the
that
age.
average age. It
Yeah.
just makes me feel sick to my stomach that spend $350,000 on something that's 20, and I'm not advocating buying new, I don't mean that, but like, I don't have the answer of what we should do to continually replace these vehicles, because it's just astronomical.
Either way, I'm fine.
Well, and we're hoping that this is gonna, those two vehicles, we won't have to do the maintenance and they're probably costing us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this- yeah, this
And we're
is-
hoping whatever we get is not gonna cost us a lot
That's the
right off the
premise, yeah.
bat.
So, all in favor of the motion of adding 50, the ability to go 50 more?
So that'll come out of the reserve.
That'll come out of vehicle reserve. Opposed? Good job.
I want the insurance thing.
Yeah, and I think in the meantime, you can call the insurance company, and if they say fine, fine, if they don't, can we do a virtual meeting?
Yeah, we can call a meeting. People
Call a
come.
meeting.
An emergency meeting?
Yeah, you have to make sure that media knows and all that is posted and.
Yeah, I think you just have to, is it just a 24-hour notice, David, for
For an
for
emergency meeting?
emergency board meeting? Is it a 24-hour notice?
Board meeting, you don't need any- No,
Oh, you don't need any?
yeah, you can just, I mean, as long as it's a true emergency. Do the best you can as.
Yeah.
What's the alternative if the insurance company says, no, you can spend $500,000?
Or you
Are
have
we,
to
are we at
be,
that point, we can do that, or
No,
No, we're not.
no.
then that's all for nothing?
Well, my gut tells me that they're gonna say, we don't like it, but that, you know, that's what, if that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do.
I think we're able to buy it more, it's just whether or not we keep it short.
Yeah, well, like you said, to go from a 90,
95, to 2001.
yeah, I mean,
What did, I think I had told you, I figured all the years out, and even if we did a 2003, it was gonna increase it. I think the overall fleet to a 1998 or something like that. I mean, it.
Something really hot.
So what don't they pay back? Is it, they just pay for the vehicle itself and not the contents? I mean, what are you insuring? The entire vehicle and everything in it?
Yeah, both.
Okay, so what
yeah.
are they saying they, if it's too old?
Yeah, so the paper, it's vintage Bob, but it said basically that we don't have a clear replacement plan. It stated something like we should have annual checks, and the trucks are checked weekly. And you know, we have good maintenance records, and it kind of alluded that we weren't doing that sort of thing. So I called bullcrap on that when I responded, and they never said anything back to my response. We had to have a corrective action. And I said that I'd bring it to the board and we try to come up with a plan. That we sort of had a replacement plan, but we're a brand new organization. And so it basically just said the average age of the fleet needs to be higher, and that we should have like a clear replacement and maintenance plan, that sort of thing.
Well, I remember when I first came on the Howland board, you guys were doing something with an ambulance. That was a nightmare, wasn't it? It was 4 or 5 years ago, but there was something, the ambulance was wrecked. The insurance was not happy with what they were wanting to pay us. It's been several years, but I remember you guys talking about that a lot. And I feel like this is another situation we're going to get into. We're going to have a vehicle that we're saying is 300,000 and they're going to say, well, we're only going to give you 100. You know, that's my biggest fear is the insurance just
Well,
saying,
that's because they move the hoop every time you jump through that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's not good enough.
That's what happened
It's-
twice
yeah.
with the
It's
ambulances
constantly
here.
moving.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't you call them?
Yep.
And ask them in broad terms, if I bought a 2010, what's that gonna do to,
I'll call and I'll ask,
Yeah.
but I'm also gonna email whoever I talk to
Yeah.
because I want it right.
yeah,
And
exactly.
then I'll report
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So,
like I said, it wasn't tremendously clear as to what we would do to rectify that, other than I just said that I debunked their not checking the vehicles and having maintenance regularly done and inspections and all that. And then that we would come up with some sort of a replacement plan. And that we would try to buy a vehicle that would increase the average age. And I never heard anything back from them, so I would assume, because you only have so many days to
Right.
give them a plan. So, and I think Bob had asked a question, and I think that this would be legit, is within maybe 2 years, we're gonna have 3 brand new ambulances. I would assume.
That's gonna
that
raise-
That would,
Raise the,
if they're looking at the whole fleet and
Yeah.
not just the fire trucks, you know, then that would increase it by a lot. But I don't know if they just say, well, no, the fire trucks are separate and.
it must be, are they insuring the fleet?
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
they can play both sides of the
Yeah.
coin, but if they're insuring the fleet, it's the fleet.
Yeah.
So in a little over 2 years, you're gonna have whatever year that is, it's gonna, boy, that's a big number.
Well, the premise is that in 20 years, you'll retire a fire truck.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Right.
And most people, and many, I mean, this department's all around the state that are like this. What I've thought, and when you brought it up is, we've got an engine out there that hurts, costs us a ton of money to fix it, and it could die at any time.
Yeah.
Or cost us a ton of money anytime. So let's just get rid of 2 and get 1. So, all right. So you now have the ability to go to 400 if you need to, if you see
Okay.
something that's warranted, but trying to find out from the
Yeah.
board, from the insurance company. If they,
If I find something, I'm not gonna pull the trigger on it. I'm gonna send an email to you
yeah,
guys.
sure.
So.
Well, the first email I'd like to hear is
There's some
what
dialogue.
the insurance company.
That's too old or
Yeah.
whatever, then
Well, I gotta tell you, I see fire trucks every day because we've talked about it. And my Facebook feed has fire trucks all the time. Yeah. And I go, that looks like a good one. I'll be back in a minute. But what do I know about a fire truck? But other than John, what do we know about a fire truck?
I
Do
suppose.
you know anything about a fire truck?
They're red, usually.
Now you have the floor.
Good ones are pretty.
Go right ahead. You put your hand up.
I know, but then you didn't stop talking for so long. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I give you permission to go, hey, Bob.
Oh, I remember what it was. On the replacement plan.
Yep.
Is that something that we are expecting
Yeah.
chief and deputy chief to develop with their mechanic? Or is that something as a board that we
No,
should also
when-
work on with them?
No. I can say no because I have no expertise on fire engines. Do you?
I do not, but
No,
I
but you
do know
hold the
that
purse
we hold the purse strings with the budget, which is going to be integral for them
Well, I
to be
think
able
we
to
could
do
give
any
them,
planning.
we could give them some direction, like this is what we'd like to do. And we're gonna know a lot more this time next year if we have another good year and we're on that track record of going down the road that way. It's gonna be a lot easier to be realistic. We can say anything we want now.
We can. I'm also just thinking that from a planning standpoint of that kind of stuff, that's probably going to take more than one meeting for them to
Oh,
be able to
sure.
develop that,
Yeah.
but not one meeting between their group trying to plan it and our group trying to budget for
Yeah.
it is gonna probably take more than one for that. So do we should stick to a standing budget or down the road for re-begin talking about it when?
I'm gonna be Debbie Downer.
No, I
Yeah,
think,
you could get them
no,
down.
I think we
No.
need to start working on a vehicle replacement for the engines and for the ambulances, because you're gonna get 3 brand new ambulances that are gonna age somewhat.
And
We
then
need,
we
well,
can't just stop there.
Yeah.
we need to be planning on
Right.
replacing them
So
now
the-
before
right.
the 18 months when we get
Right.
them.
So the
because-
big thing is looking at financials every month and seeing that,
Absolutely.
and that we're gonna be able to put money aside and literally put it in a scheduled account. Because if we don't, it'll get spent for something else.
Mhm.
So, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm just,
You gonna be Debbie Downer?
yeah,
That
because
was name was Jeff, but go ahead, Debbie.
we're at the beginning of the year and I'm worried that we moved the expected revenue on this budget that we're in now to 1.2. And I know we finished the year better than we did. The best year we've ever had, even in Howland, with 1.3.
I think close to 1.4.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, that was
Yeah.
are we gonna be able to get back to that? Are we gonna be able to are we gonna hit 1.2? I mean, we're already talking about deployments and guys out on FMLA. And I'm worried
Well, the
that,
good news is you got your.
Debbie Downer, that's
No, no.
real life.
Yeah,
that's-
no, I'm
that's
just-
Sure,
yeah.
but one of the things we're planning on, we've got 4 new positions that are coming on now.
oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying, right here, I mean, with what's in front, in the budget we're in now, we only have $150,000
Wiggle room.
wiggle room.
Yeah.
Last year we had 290,000,
Yeah.
you know, and we're, you know,
Keep it up.
yeah,
So-
and taking, so you can argue however you want. I mean, it's all out of the same purse. If we're gonna, we just said we're gonna take 50,000 and put it in this vehicle. So go ahead and say this year, we're already down to 100,000 wiggle room. So,
Yeah.
but, you know, you guys know where I fall. I know we've got to do something.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm just,
the worst thing we can do
there's nothing.
is nothing.
Right.
So we have to make.
Where are
best
you
is-
looking for engines? Are you looking across the country?
Nation.
Nationwide?
Yeah,
Can anybody drive an engine?
back from somewhere.
Yeah. Or do you have to have a certain license? Because that's gonna be the
So,
next thing. So I mean,
what-
if you get one from South Florida,
Yeah.
I'll fly down with somebody
Yeah.
and drive it back. Cause I
Typically
don't
what
have,
happens is they'll broker, the last few that we bought out of state, they broker it, and somebody that has a broker it, truck driving license and so forth,
we'll
will
drive.
drive it here. We've had one flatbedded here. So usually they'll add it into the price and it's $4,000 or $5,000,
Yeah.
something like that. And from the town standpoint, when we were just with Howland, they always felt like it was worth spending that money because it wasn't our problem till it landed here.
Yeah.
And if you broke down on a highway somewhere, even though it was gonna save us tremendous money,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$4,000 or $5,000, that it was better to just get it here.
Yeah.
I think that's smart.
I was gonna say, when you talk about what's an engine, how many gallons per mile do they
I
get?
was gonna say that.
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say, driving an engine from Timbuktu to here, like,
I get that it would save us money.
Even towing it on a
Yeah,
flat.
but you're already
about
putting all
6.
those miles
Yeah,
on it too,
so,
then you're gonna meet.
anyway, so
Yeah.
we all have our assignments.
Yeah.
Now we go have fun.
Oh.
John, one more?
Yeah, I don't know. Typically, officers need to be sworn in. That's something.
I don't think, we haven't done that before.
I don't remember getting sworn, I got sworn at, but not sworn in. It's not in our bylaws. And it's not in the charter. It just says that we will elect. But, somebody want to swear me in? I'll swear it. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, you're done.
Some holy water.
You're in.
I'm actually gonna be adjourned.
I second that motion. All in favor? Good night. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you for coming.
Or you all head out. Uh-oh, so you pull up that calculation to make sure that you're, what I typed up